What is Eurovision to you then, Lennon?
Well, to me, it feels like part of our pan-European culture. I mean, it's even people who really don't like Eurovision and are actually against it. Some people are against it, which is, I think, a really strange stance.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm not against football. I don't watch it, but I'm not against it. Like,
no, I know.
People are very dramatic about Eurovision as if it's something really deep, which it isn't. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun.
Exactly right.
And I remember this person who said, well, I'm all for European cooperation, but Eurovision is not it. And I was like, what do you think this is, the EU? I mean, it's literally just a singing competition.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's not meant to be political. It's hard for it not to.
Everything's political.
Yes, everything is, and actually, it's not just political. It's also social.
Yes.
You know, because people often talk about the political voting in Eurovision, right?
That's what I don't mind.
But to me, it's as much social as it is political, because I think sometimes people vote for what they're familiar with. For what, you know, and for countries. I mean, I live technically in the UK now for the last 20 odd years. I live in the north of Ireland, but basically I'm in the UK, which means I'm allowed to vote for Ireland quite a lot.
Yes.
And believe me, I'm voting up a storm.
Everyone does that. Like, people are literally waiting for the Irish votes usually. Yeah. They don't always come. Most of the time they don't.
No, true. True. We're kind of we're a funny beast, actually, the Irish, you know. But also you've got to remember that for a period of time, certainly in the noughties, Poland and Lithuania did very well in Ireland and in the Irish vote. And the reason for that, not because they weren't wonderful, but because there was a lot of Polish and Lithuanians here who cared.
Yes.
Enough to ring and vote for their country.
Same, like in the 2000s, it was mainly, it was always 12 points for Turkey, I think. From Holland.
There you go.
Or the Netherlands, we call them.
Yes, of course.
I'm from Holland, but like the whole country is
the Netherlands. Oh,
yes.
That's I feel that's a conversation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Talk to someone from outside of Holland, and they'll be really offended if you call the whole country Holland, which is something I understand.
Yes, it's a tough thing, because unless you're in it, you don't understand the nuance of it. You know, because actually, it's like, I'm obviously Irish. I have been Irish my whole life, and I lived in Dublin. And so I lived in the Republic of Ireland for the first 30 years of my life. So the funny part of that is, even though I only live 60 miles from the border to the north of Ireland, I'm not 100% sure I really understood the difference up here, because I wasn't raised at a time when it was very serious for us in Dublin in comparison to the people living here, you know. But I was here in the north of Ireland when the Stormont Agreement was, you know, the Good Friday Agreement was signed. I was actually here that night in the Stormont Hotel, which is across the road. I was doing a TV programme. But, you know, I understood things were happening here, but I don't think I understood how important it was to be either Irish or British here, or what way it works, you know. So it's a similar thing. I think it's about, you know, how people perceive it out, and you want people to understand your country the right way and how you feel about it, you know what I mean? So that's it.
Yeah, it is comparable, but not with a difficult history.
No.
It's just like Holland is just 2 provinces in the west.
Okay.
And the rest of the country has nothing to do with that. So it's really, if you're not from there, it's just strange. It's like, you have these provinces in Ireland as well.
Yes.
Like we're in Antrim, I believe. What is that?
A county, it's a county, Antrim. So the province is Ulster. So
Ulster,
there's 4 provinces as such, but there are 32 counties.
Oh yes, I see. So let's say Ulster. We would call the entire country, or the whole of Ireland, Ulster.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
No, it wouldn't make sense, but that's how we do it, basically. I don't know how that came about, but Amsterdam, The Hague, Rotterdam, everything is in Holland. Like,
yeah. I know.
It's basically the England of the whole UK.
Exactly right. But then, to be fair, the England do say that all the time.
Yes.
they take ownership of anybody in the UK and Ireland. You know, the second they're successful.
Yes, that's true.
And then they say they're British or Irish or English. You know.
Yes, so it's just the oppressor, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little bit. We find it very hard to shake it.
Yes.
You know, but my feeling is, we're over 100 years since, you know, we're coming up to 100 years of independence. We should be really feeling that in ourselves, you know what I mean? And I don't really think about it too much. I mean, I live in a place that has a lot of history in it, as we know, but actually I don't feel it from the people. The people are phenomenal here. So I just love it. I love living here. But I loved Ireland too. So, I mean, to me, I'm still Irish and I'm still living in Ireland, you know?
Yes.
physically.
It is technically Ireland as well.
Oh, no, it
there's
is.
more definitions to Ireland. You have the Republic of Ireland, but Ireland itself is like the whole not the whole country, but the whole island.
It's still called Ireland, the
Yes.
whole of the Ireland, but
The whole of the island.
the whole of the island. But it's, and then you have Northern Ireland, so it's kind of a difficult nuance to give, but it is fraught.
But all of it is Irish.
Yes, it is Irish, and
Yes.
but not everybody here identifies as Irish, obviously.
No,
but,
no, it can
but,
be British as well.
But you know,
Whatever you like.
But there are a
honestly.
lot of people who do, you know. So you know, so when we say the Netherlands, then do they all refer to themselves as Dutch, or do they?
Dutch. Yes.
Yeah. So Dutch
we
is
call
the
ourselves
generic.
Nederlanders, which is
Nederlanders.
Netherlanders, basically.
Yeah, of course.
But because Dutch, I think there must have been they must have made a mistake when they like came up with the word Dutch, because we have nothing to do with German, which is Deutsch.
Yeah. So we don't know why Dutch has become a thing.
No idea. No. It's also we don't call the language Dutch either. We call it Nederlands,
Okay.
Netherlandish.
So just, do you think it was because? So when was it called the Netherlands? When did that happen? This is a history lesson. I'm sorry. We're way
About
from
200 years ago. So now we're the Kingdom of the Netherlands.
Okay.
And we used to be the Republiek der Nederlanden,
Okay.
Republic of the Netherlands.
Okay.
And that included a part of Belgium as well, and some other regions.
Okay. Well, that's very.
Yes.
I find that really interesting, because actually, I never thought about the fact that I would say the Dutch, but I think you find people get very confused about what is part of the Netherlands.
Yes.
And the differentiation between that. That's interesting.
Yeah, same with like in America, you have the Pennsylvania Dutch.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
the Germans. Really?
We need to write a book, Lennon.
We should,
we need to write a book. We need to sort that out.
Yes, we are going to sort that out.
We could do a tour with that, actually, now that I think about it. I can see that.
Let's first write the book before we book the
I'm
tour.
already on the tour.
Yeah. Oh. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
We'll get it done.
I'm all for that, Lennon. Okay, so Eurovision to you then is a community.
It's a community. It's culture. It's community.
Mm-hmm.
It's friendships. Because the fun thing is, so we're now having a chat. I'm a Eurovision fan. You're a Eurovision artist.
Yes.
But we're all kind of in the same boat. Like there's no, like normally, in like for example, when you watch. Let me think of an example. I don't know. Let's use football as an example. Sports,
okay.
because sports is similar, especially when you look at like a World Cup or at like the Olympics. It's basically like in the Eurovision kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're called. People who do sports. I'm so not into sports. I don't have
The
no
athletes.
idea.
Shall we say the athletes? Let's go for the
yes.
athletes. Okay, the footballers.
The athletes, footballers,
Okay.
handballers.
They're not the artists.
volleyballers.
The artists that create football, shall we say?
Yeah, the artists that create the art of football.
Yes.
There's always a distance between them and the fans.
Yes.
And Eurovision artists just show up everywhere and have fun with everyone. And it's like we're all part of a club.
Yeah. But, you know, I will say this, right? I have this argument about fans of any type. So there are some things that you're supposed to be cool to be fans of. So football is...
It's not Eurovision.
Football, no. Nor, you know, we have conversations about that. But actually there are people who are football fans who are equally as ardent about their field of fandom, you might say.
Yes.
And are probably even more nerdy than some of the Eurovision gang. And the thing is, they don't think that that's uncool, but it is. It's uncool to the people who are not as immersed. So there are levels of fandom, right?
Yes.
For everything. And actually, for something that is considered uncool to have the hundreds of millions of viewers and the people invested in it, and they're more invested than they think, even the people who are not necessarily fans, because they do care what they send.
Yes.
We discovered that the Turkey year, let's be honest, right? When Dustin was sent. Right? When Dustin went for Ireland suddenly went, oh my God, you know, I have my opinion on that, actually. I love Dustin, right? And
I don't.
But
no, I think it's just embarrassing. I'm sorry.
I know, but you know, it's okay.
But I'm not Irish, so perhaps I just don't understand the cultural impact it had on the country.
Well, it was irrelevance, right? It was a parody of Eurovision. It was
Yes,
meant
it
to
was.
be. And on the fact that we won and all that sort of stuff. And if you knew Dustin as a character...
Yes, I don't know.
No, and you don't. And it was never going to work outside Dublin or Ireland, because obviously he's very dub and he's Irish. It was never really, it was not never, but it was going to be a hard sell, shall
Yes.
we say. But the thing is, the second I knew he was in the Eurosong, I knew he'd win it. because the Irish people loved Dustin and his irreverence for things, and he'd had very successful albums here parodying all sorts of stuff.
But this is funny because I was always very annoyed with the turkey. I always thought, what's this?
Did you think we were making fun of Eurovision doing it?
In a way, yes.
Yeah. But the funny part is, I don't think they anticipated that. They thought that
they
everyone would see the humour in it.
Yeah.
Yes, they would think they would see the humour in that. And I think, but the funny part of it was the Irish people suddenly realised that what they'd done, they had allowed that to happen. My mother rang me incensed that they sent the turkey, and I was laughing. And I said to her, Mum, you can't, did you vote for the Eurosong? And she said, no, I did not. I said, well, then you sent him as much as anybody else.
Yes.
So if you care, vote.
Yes.
And so suddenly people cared about what they sent. So what I'm saying is, even if you're not a Eurovision fan, you are touched by it.
Everyone's involved.
Everyone's involved. And it's the same with football. We don't watch football. We don't, we're not invested in football. But the point is, when our team does well, we feel a bit of reflected interest in that, or any information about it, because it's something part of our culture. And Eurovision is very much a part of our culture.
It is.
And has been for 66 years. This is 66. For us, obviously, we probably didn't come aware maybe till we enjoyed it in the 60s, maybe a bit before that. But
we joined from the start.
I know you were right there from the inception, in 1956, but we didn't join until 65. Right, so we were now like 9 years behind. But
I just wanted to see first what it was all about.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was a case of that. I think Ireland as an identity was like the cheeky chappy of Europe. We were that for a long time. I don't think we took the world stage until the 90s. Let's be honest here. And I'm not just talking about Eurovision, although that had a correlation in how we did there. But I think if you look at the 90s, that's when Ireland started standing out as a country in itself. Yeah. And in a way, as much as people have always loved the Irish, and we've never invaded anywhere, but we certainly colonised everywhere.
Yeah.
The point
as
is,
you would,
for such a small nation, we have invaded, culturally everywhere.
There's still so many Americans so proud of their Irish heritage.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible to go to America and not meet I'm from Ireland. You go, really? Yeah. Which part of you there now?
Yes.
I spent quite a bit of time in America, and even in Europe.
7% Irish, basically, all those people.
Really? Yeah. I'm pretty as Irish as they come, because my ancestors go right back to the High Kings of Ireland. So my family, as in, so not that I've gone and done that whole thing, but I am aware my uncle did the family tree back. So we are very Irish on both sides. And the funny part of it is that Ireland itself as an identity was always, sure, they're grand, even though we'd already colonised a lot of places and we were doing, populated loads of places. The thing is, in the 90s, we stood up and we said, we are a country in our own right and we want to stand on the world stage. And we did it well, but we kind of sacrificed a little bit of that cheeky chappy thing a bit with it, because then we had to be up with the big boys.
Yes.
And so in a way...
And it worked out.
Yeah, no, it did. And it's wonderful for the country and it's wonderful for the people and wonderful for... I love that, the whole European identity. That's a big thing for me, the European identity as a whole. And because, it's really important to kind of relate... You see, the thing for me, for the Nederlanders,
yes.
I always felt that we were very similar animals, right?
I still feel like we are, yes.
As a race, because we love companionship, we're very social, we have great history about our music and our industry and our arts and our culture, and we're very friendly, open, curious, and as I would say about the Irish, nosy people.
Yes, we're very similar, I think.
Yes, yeah. And so we have cultures and we are interested in that, and so... For such a small country like the Netherlands,
yes,
we are
around the same size, I think.
Yeah, we all have interest and curiosity about other things without having to own them, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Excuse me. So, from a culture point of view, Eurovision brings that into the case, as well. And so what I like about Eurovision is we are all part of the same family. Culture community, yes. But we also compete in that lovely way that you do in family games, you want to win.
A Monopoly.
You want to win, but actually, obviously every year there's a winner and it's important to win and all that, but when you think about it, even as entrants, it doesn't, and I've won one and didn't win the other, it didn't matter, make a big difference to me.
No.
which one it was, because I enjoyed the actual experience the same. And had I not won, I still would have been part of that family.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's probably unusual for people to understand, but it's the same as if you're a footballer and you don't score all the goals. The thing is, you're still part of the team.
Yes, that's
Doesn't
true.
make you a less valued member of it, because the show can't happen with just a winner.
Yes, it's all about the show.
It's the whole show. And the thing is, everybody's as important about it.